everyone, my name is Rafiat and you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I made this extra yummy fruity cake without an oven. And I'm also going to be showing you how I made this lovely glaze used on the cake. So please keep watching, I have so much to share with you. It's a fruity cake, so of course the first ingredient has to be a fruit, and I've chosen to use grapes in this video. These are Concord grapes. I know they look a lot like blueberries, but no, these are not blueberries. They are Concord grapes, and I'm going to be using Concord grapes in this video, in this recipe. There are different kinds of grapes and you can use absolutely any kind. The green grapes, the red grapes, but preferably I'll advise you use seedless grapes for this recipe so that you don't have to go through the whole stress of removing the seeds. So I've thoroughly washed the grapes and I'm just going to pick out a few from the stem. Feel free to use any combination of fruits that you want to, but I'm using two kinds of fruits for this recipe and grape is one of them. I'll be using 1 cup of grapes. And of course, like I said, this is Concord grape. You can use absolutely any kind of grape you want to. It's fine. So I need 1 cup, which is what I'm trying to measure out. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to transfer that into a bowl and set this aside. I'm going to come back to this, but let's get on with the other process of this recipe. So for the wet ingredients, I'm starting off with 2 eggs and I'm just going to use my hand mixer to do the whisking. The truth is that you can actually use a manual whisk for this. It doesn't have to be an electrical hand mixer. So just do this until the eggs turn fluffy. And this bowl is actually small, so I had to transfer the egg to a bigger bowl so that I can work with it easily. Just before we continue, please tap the like button. It's going to help with the algorithm for more people to see this video and watch this video. Please guys, tap the like button, okay? Thank you. So I just added sugar, and the reason you should actually try to make your eggs fluffy before introducing other ingredients is because at the end of the day, fluffy eggs are going to lead to fluffy cakes because they trap in air, which is going to make your cake fluffy at the end of the day. So now add some vegetable oil, add some milk of course, and keep mixing. So now I'm going in with the dry ingredients and I'm going to be using 1.5 cups of flour, some baking soda, for some vanilla powder. You can actually use the liquid vanilla, that's fine. But I want you to know that you don't have to add all the dry ingredients at once. You should do this bit by bit so that you don't overwork the batter. Cake batter is very delicate and you can't just add all the dry ingredients all at once. Just do this bit by bit, and when stirring the cake, don't be too fast. Just do it slowly so that you don't overwork the batter. So after the first batch of dry ingredients, I'm just going to add the remaining dry ingredients, and it's very important that you pass the ingredients through a sieve so that you can get rid of all the particles, the sand, stone, dirt and all of that. So now that I've added the remaining dry ingredients, I'm just folding in, mixing it gently. Our second fruit is a citrus fruit and you can use absolutely any kind: lemon, lime, orange, clementine. So I'm going to be using foreign orange, or what is also known as clementine, and I'm just going to grate that. Please note that I've already washed this thoroughly and I'm going to grate this. What this does is that it's going to skyrocket the flavor of your fruity cake. No matter the combination of fruits you're going to use for your own fruity cake, please add a citrus fruit. It's going to take the flavor of your cake to a whole new level, I assure you. So after zesting the orange, I'm just going to cut open and squeeze out the juice. So the process of grating the back of the orange is called zesting, and what you get out of it is called zest. So I'm just adding about 80% of the juice to the batter. Reserve a little for future use, and after that I'm going to add the orange zest and set aside. Now back to the grapes. Because we don't want our grapes to just sink to the bottom of the batter, it's very important that you sprinkle about 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour to this and mix it thoroughly. That way your grapes will not sink to the bottom. It's going to spread out in the cake, as we're going to see later on. So that's what I'm doing. After mixing everything together, go ahead and add the well-coated grapes into the batter and mix everything together. Please, when you're mixing, you're not mixing with so much speed or with so much force. You're just folding the batter in, turning and folding in so that you don't overwork the batter. Like I said earlier, cake batter is not something you want to overwork. You're supposed to treat it with care. handle with care, because if you overwork your batter, you don't want that at all. Like I said earlier, you don't need an oven to bake this cake, okay? You just need your pot stand and your pot and your fire sauce, and that's it, you're good to go. For the pot stand, there are different kinds of pot stand that you can use. I have been using this black one for so long. It has been so useful. So I've used it to bake different kinds of cake, bread, meat pie, basically a lot of snacks. And I recently got this stainless one, and it's also very useful. So a pot stand is just going to provide a platform for your baking pan to rest. For the pot, I'm going to be using an aluminium pot. So I dedicated this aluminium pot to my home baking without an oven. So it's already looking old. So all you have to do is place the pot stand inside the pot, cover the pot and allow it to preheat for about 10 minutes on medium heat. This is just the same thing you do with an oven, just the way you preheat your oven before baking. Back to the baking pan, all you have to do is cut out a piece from the parchment paper or baking paper that you have. But if you don't have this, simply apply some vegetable oil into your baking pan and sprinkle some all-purpose flour on it, and you're good to go. So now transfer the batter into the baking pan, making sure that you scrape out everything. And don't forget the spatula, always make sure you scrape the batter from it. And once you're done with that, don't forget to lift your baking pan up and heat on the surface. What this does is that it's going to get rid of all the air bubbles. Now back to the pot. Open the pot. At this point it's very hot, so you have to drop the baking pan or whatever you're using carefully into the pot. Be very careful because the pot is very hot. Cover the pot and allow this on low heat for about 35 to 40 minutes. Please, very low heat. In fact, use the lowest heat in your fire sauce. Once that time elapses, go ahead and open the pot and you're going to be left with this well-baked cake. Lift the cake out of the baking pan and place on a plate and allow this to cool for about 30 minutes. While the cake is cooling, we are just going to add about 3 tablespoons of icing sugar or confectioner's sugar into a bowl. Then add the orange zest, lime zest, anyone you're using, Clementine. So far as a citrus fruit, you're good to go. Don't forget to add the juice as well that we kept earlier. Mix everything together, but while mixing, make sure you use your spoon to crush the lumps so that you can get rid of everything. At the end of the day, you want it to be very smooth. And once you're done with that, transfer the glaze into a cup or a small jug that has a beak so that the pouring will be very easy. This is my favorite part, where I get to pour the glaze on the cake. It just feels really peaceful. So do this gently and generously at the same time. And if you feel the glaze hasn't gone everywhere, simply use your spatula or spoon to spread the glaze. And after you're done spreading the glaze, make sure you allow this to cool for about 15 to 30 minutes. And this is the time where you have to cut the cake open. Wait for it, just wait for it. Be patient, wait for it. I can't wait to see what this cake looks inside. Okay, this is really beautiful. This is gorgeous. I want you to notice something. I love how the grapes were properly dispersed in the cake. They didn't all sink to the bottom of the cake, which is very important that you always sprinkle all-purpose flour on the grapes or whichever fruits you're using. Make sure you sprinkle flour on them so that they will be dispersed and not, all the fruits sinking to the bottom of the cake. You don't want that at all. Now, the best part is when you have to serve yourself and enjoy. Guys, please subscribe to my channel and thank you for watching this video till this point. Bye, and I'll see you in my next one.